It started on an ordinary Saturday afternoon. Lily Jamieson was sifting through the attic of her grandmother's old house in Vermont, a place filled with dusty boxes, faded letters, and forgotten photographs. She had always loved these trips, drawn to the smell of aged paper and the quiet hum of memories trapped in time. As she carefully opened a large wooden chest, a stack of black and white photos spilled onto the floor. Most of them were family portraits, smiling faces she recognized from her childhood, or strangers she had never met. Her fingers lingered on one in particular, a scene of a bustling town square, dated 1932. At first glance, it seemed ordinary. Children played near a fountain, women carried baskets, and men tipped their hats as they walked by. But then Lily froze. She swore she saw herself. There, standing in the background, just behind a lamppost, was a young girl who looked exactly like her. Same hazel eyes, same wavy brown hair, same faint smile she often caught in mirrors. She blinked, convinced she was imagining it. But the more she stared, the clearer it became. It wasn't a trick of the light. She could even make out the small scar above her left eyebrow, the one she had gotten from falling off a swing at 6. How could that be possible? The photo had been taken nearly 25 years before she was born. Lily's heart pounded as she held the photograph closer. She ran her fingers over the faint scratches of age, feeling a strange mix of fear and excitement. She had always believed in coincidences, but this felt different, almost like a message waiting for her to understand. Her grandmother's voice drifted from downstairs. "Lily, lunch is ready." It was a simple call, but Lily hardly heard it. She was lost in thought, wondering how anyone could bear such a resemblance across decades. She carefully set the photo aside and picked up an old notebook from the same chest. Its pages were yellowed and brittle, filled with handwriting that curled and looped elegantly. Flipping through, she discovered a journal belonging to her great-grandmother, Eleanor Jamieson. Eleanor had written about life in Vermont, about the small joys and struggles of the 1930s. But then Lily noticed something peculiar. Eleanor mentioned a young girl who often appeared in the town square, always in the background, always unnoticed, but always smiling. A chill ran down Lily's spine. "Could it be?" she whispered, her voice trembling. She couldn't finish the thought. The idea seemed impossible, almost magical. And yet, looking at the photo again, she felt a tug in her chest, an unexplainable connection to a past she had never lived. Curiosity took hold. Lily decided she needed answers. She carefully packed the photo and journal into a small box and hurried downstairs. Her grandmother smiled at her, unaware of the storm brewing in her granddaughter's mind. That evening, Lily sat in her room with the photo spread out before her. She searched the corners for any clue, any detail she might have missed. Her mind raced with questions. Who was that girl really? Could it be a distant relative, a time trick, or something far stranger? Lily's phone buzzed, breaking her concentration. It was a message from her best friend, Emma. "Movie night tomorrow? Don't stay up too late digging through old ghost stories." Lily smiled faintly, but she couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't a story. This was real, and it was calling to her. She placed the photograph on her nightstand and stared at it for hours, tracing the lines of the young girl's face. Sleep came slowly, and when it did, her dreams were filled with cobblestone streets, fountain splashes, and a girl with her own face smiling from the past. In the morning, she woke with a determination she had never felt before. This wasn't just a curiosity. It was a mystery she had to solve, a connection that spanned generations. And as she packed her bag to head back to her apartment in Boston, the photo safely tucked inside, she felt the weight of untold moments pressing gently against her heart. If you're enjoying this story so far, please like the video and subscribe for more heartfelt tales. Lily had no idea that this photograph would lead her to discoveries that would change everything she thought she knew about her family, her past, and even herself. And yet, the first piece of the puzzle was only beginning to reveal itself. Lily's apartment in Boston was small but cozy. Sunlight streamed through the windows in the early afternoon, dust motes dancing in the air. She placed the photograph carefully on her desk and opened the journal again, flipping to the passages that mentioned the mysterious girl in the square. Each entry seemed to whisper across time, describing laughter, fleeting glances, and small acts of kindness that went unnoticed by the townspeople. Her heart ached with curiosity. The girl's life in Eleanor's journal was almost painfully ordinary, yet somehow she felt a familiarity she couldn't explain. Lily leaned back in her chair, staring at the photo again. How could anyone exist in two different times, yet look exactly the same? Determined to find answers, she decided to visit the local historical society. It was a crisp Thursday morning when she arrived at the small building on Maple Street. Inside, the air smelled of old paper and polished wood, and the walls were lined with photographs, maps, and artifacts from the town's past. Lily approached the clerk, an older man with glasses perched on the tip of his nose. "I'm looking into some photographs from the 1930s, she began, trying to steady her voice. "I found one in my grandmother's attic. It's of the town square, and there's a young girl in the background. I think she might be, well, I'm not sure. I just need to know more about the people in these photos." The man nodded slowly. "We have quite a few archives. You might want to see the census records, local school photos, and newspaper clippings. Sometimes little details pop up in places you'd least expect." Lily spent hours poring over the documents. She traced families, compared handwriting in old letters, and studied photographs of children who had lived decades before her time. Every lead seemed to hit a dead end. She began to feel frustrated, exhausted, and a little foolish. Just as she was about to leave, she noticed a small folder tucked away on a lower shelf labeled Unidentified Faces, 1930s. Curious, she opened it and found dozens of black and white photos of people who had never been cataloged. Then she froze. There she was, the girl from the town square, smiling faintly behind a man with a newsboy cap. The date on this photograph matched the one she had found in her grandmother's attic. But what shocked Lily most was the notation on the back. Unknown child, reappears frequently in town photos, 1929 to 1935. No record of family. Her fingers trembled as she held the photo. Reappears frequently? How could that be possible? Lily felt a chill run down her spine. She was staring at the exact same face that had haunted her imagination for weeks. Back at her apartment that evening, Lily spread all the photographs across her bed. She tried to trace patterns, noting where the girl appeared and when. Each image told a story. The girl sitting quietly on a bench, peeking from behind a cart, laughing near the fountain. It was as if she had been watching life unfold, always in the background, but never fully part of it. The more Lily studied, the stronger the feeling became that this girl was not just a coincidence. There was a thread connecting them, a mysterious bond that spanned decades. She could almost hear whispers of the past, faint and urgent, guiding her to uncover the truth. That night, Lily dreamed of walking through the old town square. The fountain sparkled under a soft golden light, and the girl appeared again, smiling directly at her. This time, Lily felt no fear, only a strange familiarity. The girl lifted her hand as if beckoning Lily to follow, then disappeared into the shadows between the cobblestones. When Lily woke, the photograph was still on her nightstand, and the journal lay open beside it. She knew she couldn't ignore this any longer. Questions about the girl, her identity, and her inexplicable presence in the past demanded answers. As she prepared for the next morning, she felt a mixture of excitement and unease. This was bigger than anything she had ever encountered. The photograph was no longer just an old image. It was a window into a mystery that refused to stay buried. Lily didn't realize that the next step would take her beyond photographs and journals into a world of family secrets and forgotten stories, where the lines between past and present blurred in ways she could never have imagined. The next morning, Lily returned to her grandmother's house. The attic felt different this time, less like a dusty storage room, more like a portal to another world. She carried the photograph, the journal, and a small notebook for her own notes. Every creak of the floorboards under her feet seemed louder, more purposeful, as if the house itself was aware of her mission. She sat cross-legged on the wooden floor, flipping through Eleanor's journal once again. This time, she noticed a pattern she had overlooked before. The entries that mentioned the girl in the town square often coincided with Eleanor writing about moments of change, celebrations, parades, even small tragedies. The girl seemed to appear during these pivotal moments, almost as if she were a witness to history. Lily's curiosity deepened. How could someone who didn't exist in official records appear repeatedly, always at the same moments, always in the same place? She jotted down dates, locations, and details, creating a timeline that she hoped would reveal the connection between herself and this mysterious girl. As the afternoon sun dipped low, casting golden rays through the attic windows, Lily found herself drawn to the old mirror propped in a corner. Its surface was clouded with age, but she noticed something strange, a fleeting reflection that didn't match her movements. For a moment, she thought she saw the girl from the photographs standing behind her, smiling gently. Then the image vanished. Her heart raced. Was this a trick of the light, or something far stranger? Lily knew she needed more than photographs and journal entries. She needed someone who could help her uncover the truth, someone who knew the history of the town intimately. The next day, she met with Professor Daniel Whitman, a local historian and expert on Vermont's past. His office was filled with maps, ancient books, and stacks of photographs. Lily laid out the photos and journal, explaining what she had discovered. Professor Whitman listened intently, adjusting his glasses. "You're describing something highly unusual," he said slowly. "A child appearing repeatedly in photographs over several years, yet without any official record. And you say she resembles you?" Lily nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and anxiety. "Exactly. It's like she's connected to me, somehow. I don't know how or why." The professor tapped his chin thoughtfully. "There are legends about certain families in Vermont, about descendants who are inexplicably linked to events before their birth. Most dismiss them as folklore, but there's always a kernel of truth. Perhaps your family has a story that was never told." With his guidance, Lily dove deeper into historical records, town archives, and old newspaper clippings. She traced her family tree back generations, noting names, dates, and connections. And then, buried in a 1934 newspaper, she found a curious article. "Mysterious young girl spotted in town, identity unknown." The article described a child who appeared in public events, smiling from the background, and quickly vanished before anyone could speak to her. Lily's breath caught in her throat. The description matched every photograph, every journal entry, every fleeting glimpse she had imagined. It was real. She was staring at proof of a mystery that had endured for decades. That evening, Lily returned to her apartment, exhausted but exhilarated. She laid the photographs on the desk, her fingers tracing the lines of the girl's face. Then, almost without thinking, she whispered, "Who are you?" The lamp on her desk flickered. She leaned closer, heart pounding, and noticed a new detail she hadn't seen before: a faint inscription on the back of one photograph, written in delicate, looping handwriting. It read simply, "Find me when the time is right." Lily froze. Her pulse quickened. Was this a message? A warning? Or an invitation? She couldn't tell. But one thing was certain: the story she had stumbled upon was far from over. Something or someone was reaching across the decades, trying to connect with her. That night, sleep eluded her. Every shadow in her room seemed alive. Every sound outside her window whispered secrets she couldn't yet understand. She knew she was standing at the edge of something extraordinary, something that would challenge everything she believed about time, family, and the ties that bind. And then, just before dawn, Lily felt it. A presence, gentle and familiar, like a heartbeat echoing from the past. She didn't see the girl, not yet, but she knew she was there, waiting. Lily couldn't shake the feeling that the girl in the photographs was guiding her. The presence she sensed that morning lingered throughout the day, subtle but insistent, as if urging her to take the next step. She gathered the journal, the photos, and her notes, and decided to return to her grandmother's attic one last time before making any more plans. The attic was quiet, almost reverent, as if it knew she carried the weight of generations in her hands. She laid the photographs carefully on the floor and began comparing them side by side, trying to spot new patterns. That's when she noticed something she had never seen before. In nearly every photograph, the girl's eyes were always fixed on something just beyond the frame. A shiver ran down Lily's spine. She tilted her head, imagining what could have held the girl's gaze for so long. Was it a person, a place, or perhaps an event that had left its mark on history? The thought was overwhelming, but also thrilling. She felt closer to understanding, yet further away than ever. Later that afternoon, Lily visited the old town square where the photographs had been taken. The fountain was still there, now polished and surrounded by flowers, but the cobblestones beneath her feet were worn smooth by time. She walked slowly, imagining the girl standing there decades ago, smiling and observing life quietly from the shadows. She paused by the lamppost where the girl had appeared in the first photograph. The sunlight caught the edges of the fountain's spray, and for a moment Lily swore she saw a movement in her peripheral vision, a fleeting shadow, a shimmer of motion that vanished before she could focus. Her breath caught. The town square, so ordinary and familiar, suddenly felt alive with history. Each bench, each street corner seemed to whisper stories of the past, of moments unseen and lives quietly remembered. Lily realized that the girl hadn't just existed in photographs. She had witnessed the heartbeat of the town itself. Determined to uncover more, Lily began interviewing longtime residents, people who had lived in the town for most of their lives. She showed them the photographs, asking if they recognized the mysterious girl. Most shook their heads, offering vague memories of a child who always seemed to be there but never stayed long. One elderly woman, Mrs. Thompson, leaned closer and whispered, "Some things aren't meant to be explained, dear, but I remember her. She was always watching, always waiting." That night, Lily returned home with a mixture of frustration and wonder. The girl's identity remained a mystery, yet something in the old woman's words resonated deeply. She felt a connection she couldn't ignore, as if she and the girl were threads in the same tapestry, separated by decades but tied together by fate. She spread the photographs across her desk, tracing the girl's expressions, the angles of her head, the light in her eyes. Then, almost instinctively, Lily reached for a camera and snapped a photo of the room, capturing herself sitting among the images. When she reviewed it, her heart skipped a beat. In the background, just behind her chair, the faint outline of a young girl appeared, her face delicate and familiar, smiling softly. Lily's hands shook as she held the print closer. It was impossible, yet there it was. The past and present had collided in a single frame. For the first time, Lily understood. This was more than a family mystery or a historical curiosity. The girl had been waiting for her, guiding her, leading her to a moment where their lives could intersect across time. The realization was overwhelming and beautiful, a delicate balance of fear and awe. Lily felt a surge of determination. She couldn't stop now. The story demanded to be completed. The connection needed to be understood. And as she looked at the photograph again, she felt the girl's presence more strongly than ever, as if a gentle hand rested on her shoulder, urging her forward. And then, in the quiet of her apartment, Lily noticed a single word etched faintly on the edge of one photograph she hadn't examined closely before: soon. It was a promise, or perhaps a warning. Either way, Lily knew her journey was about to reach a turning point she had never imagined. The past was no longer distant. It was here, waiting for her to step fully into the story it had been holding for decades. The following morning, Lily woke with a quiet determination. The word soon from the photograph lingered in her mind. It felt like a signal, a gentle nudge from the past, telling her that the answers she had been chasing were finally within reach. She gathered the photos, the journal, and her notes, and made her way back to the town square, where so many moments from decades ago had been captured in time. The fountain glimmered under the morning sun, and for the first time, Lily noticed small details she had overlooked: the way the cobblestones caught the light, the shadows cast by the trees along the square, and the faint patterns in the old bricks that seemed to echo the photographs she had studied for so long. It was as if the town itself were speaking to her. As she walked, Lily felt a sudden warmth at the nape of her neck, a presence she had sensed before, but never so clear. She turned slowly, and there she was, the girl from the photographs. Not a reflection, not a shadow, but a vision standing just across the fountain, smiling gently. She looked exactly as she did in the images, timeless, serene, and yet alive with an energy Lily could feel. Lily's chest tightened. She wanted to reach out, to speak, but words failed her. The girl lifted her hand in a small wave, as if acknowledging their connection, then slowly disappeared, leaving behind a faint shimmer in the sunlight. Lily blinked, unsure if she had imagined it, but the photographs in her hand told the truth. This had been real. Determined to understand, Lily returned to her grandmother's attic with the journal. This time, she read every entry carefully, piecing together Eleanor's words with the photographs and the recent vision. Slowly, a story emerged. A story of a child who existed in moments, a presence that spanned decades, a guardian of memories that had been forgotten by time. The journal hinted at a secret Eleanor had never fully revealed. The girl had been a family spirit, a mysterious presence tied to their lineage, meant to appear when the family needed guidance, observation, or remembrance. She was a witness to life's small and significant events, always quietly connecting the threads of past and present. As Lily sat in the soft afternoon light, she realized that the girl had always been with her, guiding her to discover this truth, leading her to understand her own place in the long chain of family history. The photographs, the journal, the shadows, all of it had been a path to this realization. Over the following weeks, Lily returned to the square multiple times, hoping for another glimpse. Each visit carried a sense of calm, as if the girl's presence reassured her that she was not alone in uncovering the past. Lily also shared her findings with Professor Whitman, who marveled at the mystery but accepted that some things in history were beyond ordinary explanation. Lily's life began to change subtly. She felt more connected to her family, more aware of the layers of time that surrounded her. The photographs no longer seemed like static images. They were portals, pieces of a living story that she could now understand. And though the girl appeared less frequently, Lily knew she was always near, watching from the edges of memory and history, waiting for the right moments to appear. One evening, as Lily sorted the photographs for safekeeping, she noticed something remarkable. In one final image she had never examined closely, the girl was standing beside her younger self, as if bridging the decades. And in that moment, Lily understood fully. The girl was part of her, a connection that spanned time, a reminder that life was filled with untold moments waiting to be discovered. Lily smiled softly, feeling a gentle warmth in her chest. She carefully placed the photographs and journal back into the chest in the attic, knowing she had uncovered a secret that would remain hers, a story of wonder and connection that few could ever imagine. The mystery of the girl was no longer a puzzle. It was a gift, a reminder that the past and present are always intertwined, that memories live on, and that sometimes the most extraordinary connections are the ones we can barely see. And as Lily closed the attic door, she felt, just for an instant, a small hand brushing against hers in the quiet of the room. The girl had been there all along, smiling, leaving her with the most important lesson. The past is never truly gone, and some moments wait for the right person to notice them. The story of the mysterious girl had finally come full circle, leaving Lily with a heart full of wonder and the quiet knowledge that some secrets, no matter how hidden, are meant to be found. The echoes of the past had found their way into her life, and in doing so, they had left her with a sense of peace she had never known before.